Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Coach Ted. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. A little technical glitch getting started this morning. Anyway, how are you today? It's Monday morning, start of another week. Gorgeous day here in Boston. I hope you're having good weather where you are. Whatever time of day or night this is that you're watching this. And if you're going to join me here live this morning, please say hi in a comment so I know you're here. So I am Coach Ted, your ADHD champion, and I'm excited to be here with you this morning. And today, doing part 2 of topic out of sight, out of mind. Now, on Friday, I talked about this topic initially, and the fact that if we don't see something, those of us with ADHD, we forget it's around. That's where out of sight, out of mind refers to. So if you have files in a file drawer, or your calendar isn't sitting out right in front of you, or your to-do list, it's very easy to forget that it's even there. But there's another aspect of out of sight, out of mind I want to talk about today, and that's the fact that at some level we actually know that that's true, that it's easy to forget stuff we don't see, so we, not by conscious choice, but sort of unconsciously, we leave stuff around that we can see so we don't forget it. And that's where a lot of our clutter comes from. We leave piles of stuff. We leave stuff sitting around so we can see it and so we don't forget it. Of course, one of the problems is stuff gets piled on top of other stuff, and so we don't see it, and we do forget it. So we have to create a new pile so we don't forget that piece of paper or object or whatever it is. And I'm afraid I'm a little susceptible to that as well. I have this pile of paper that keeps cropping up on the corner of my desk, over to the left of my computer keyboard. And I keep putting stuff there that I don't want to forget. And of course, then stuff gets piled on top of stuff, and sometimes I forget what's underneath. So that's not a very good system. I do have other ways of keeping track of stuff so I can see it. I have a file rack, one of those racks that's kind of graduated, so each section is a little higher than the one before, so you can see what's in it. That's very helpful. And I actually do have a file drawer by my desk where I keep important files, but I know what's in there. I don't have to see it to remember that that's where I keep the files for my clients or for the different programs I'm in or coaches that I'm working with and what I'm working on with them. I know that that's there. So I don't have to see it to remember it. But think about your space, your living space, and where do you kind of leave stuff lying around so you can see it and make sure that you remember that it's there. It could be things like keys or wallets or bags and purses, and just think about the kind of clutter that you've got around that basically you're keeping there because you're afraid if you put it away, you'll forget about it. So we need a different way of handling it. So one is I talked about on Friday was having things that where you're storing things in view. So this is like the rack that I have, or there you can get these, hanging file racks that you can attach to the wall. You can have different sections, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 sections. So you can keep files in with important papers, things that you're working on. Having storage containers that are clear so you can see what's inside, rather than things that you can't see in, so you forget what's in there. One of the things that I do so I remember is I put things by the door that I need to remember to take with me when I leave. It might be my, sort of backpack that I have stuff in that I want to take with me. Or when I go to my ukulele meetup, I put my ukulele and my music by the door. So, because I can walk out the door and forget stuff like that, right? I'm sure you've had that experience too. It's like, well, of course I'm going to ukulele meetup. I remember my ukulele, but if something else is going on inside my head and I don't have it by the door, I may get to the car and say, oh, wait a minute, where's my ukulele? So take a look around, see what it is, where you've got stuff that you're keeping out so you don't forget it, and be creative in coming up with ways to store it so you can see it, but it's not clutter. So you can enjoy a clutter-free living space. That's a challenge for us, and don't try to do it all at once. And that's a whole other topic to talk about. So it's 9:40. I like to keep these within about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to finish there. If you have any questions or comments about out of sight, out of mind, please leave them under this video. I always enjoy hearing from my viewers and subscribers and people part of my Live Fully with ADHD community. What you're thinking, what your ideas are, what your questions are, what your challenges are, all that stuff. I'd love to hear that, and I always respond. My thoughts, ask you questions. Also, want to remind you that I have a free Facebook group, also called Live Fully with ADHD. I invite you to join us. I post stuff there that I don't post on my Facebook page, on this Facebook page. So I'm going to, it's also called Live Fully with ADHD, and you can find it on Facebook you search under groups, but I will post a link to it so you can check it out. If you'd like to connect further with me about this topic or any other topic that's going on in your life, just put #connect in a comment, and I will get in touch with you to set up a time for us to chat. And if you're watching a replay, please type in #replay so I know you were here. So I think that's everything I want to cover in my closing remarks. So I wish you a great day and a great week. And I want to remind you, I will be back again Friday morning, 9:30, for another episode of Coffee with Coach Ted. So again, have a great day, everybody. Ciao.